Hi guys, welcome to Ash Echoes. So we're here to discuss beginner mistakes that you might have been doing and you don't know that you're doing, because I realized as well that I was doing this when I started playing this game way back in CBT. So let's discuss these beginner mistakes before you realize that you've been doing it for a long time already. Okay, so first and foremost, let's go to your characters here. So your characters need to be upgraded. Okay. What I'm saying is just limit it to your core team because you're starting out. Number one, your energy is going to be limited because the cost of farming is going to be increasing. So with this team, I'd rather you get, let's say, 7 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the last one is Lydia. Those are mostly my top 7 in my rotation. The rest are just fillers just in case I need them. But choose your 7. The 8th is usually the what do you call this? The aiding echomancer that you can get from, actually, I think, your friends. So with that said, we will go to one of the things that you need to be careful, because as you ascend, from S0 to, let's say right now, S4, the cost of your materials actually increase. So this is now, just to farm this, it's a minus 25 on energy. So be careful about that. You need to make sure that you know the cost before you do farm these things, because again, you need to spread out your resources with all of your characters. Okay, not only that is going to be costly, but your combat skills as well is going to be costly because of this one. This one is already at 40. So imagine farming 40 when your action points is at 166. That's roughly a few farms already, and you'll run out of energy. So that is my point, guys. Just make sure that you are limited to farming for your core, or limited to upgrading your core before you upgrade almost all of the characters that you want. Also, for memory trace, although for memory traces, it's a bit, it's a bit lesser. But again, please make sure that you upgrade memory traces that you will need. Okay? So memory traces that will help you most. This is actually my point number 2. First is the operative, upgrade 7. Second is going to be the traces. Upgrade at least 5, because again, the 6th one is going. You can get this from your aiding what do you call this? Aiding trace. So because not all of them you're gonna be using depending on the characters that you have. So definitely choose the top 5 that you can use for now while you're farming for more, and focus of them. So right now I have a bit more than 5 at level 30, but these 2 I used to use, so I'm focusing on these 5 right now. Again, guys, resources are going to be scarce unless the cost goes down or your energy, energy cap or maximum energy is going to be increased. So those are my 2 tips for now. My 3rd point is going to be for your energy. So of course, when you farm those stages, you will need energy. You can actually convert the food that you get from some of the areas of the game, but this supply is not going to be there on a high basis. It's just high today because it's launch, but I tell you guys, you won't have this much food once we go down the line. You'll have to scavenge these eventually. My 3rd point, going back, is don't forget you have reserve action points. Your reserve action points are accumulated once you have full energy capped out. Then this one is going to be on recovery. So there's a counter here for the next recovery. But also, guys, please do not use your reserve action points unless this is already full. This will serve as your other reservoir of energy aside from food once you really need it. So please do not waste your reserve action points just by getting any sum anytime. Make sure that they are nearly maxed out or maxed out before you take out your any amount for your reserve action points. So this, both food and reserve action points, are going to reserve, especially if you have new characters that you want to level up. They're going to be for those characters eventually. Okay guys, so we're starting off with your terminal. This is an actual battle in one of the stages, so take note that you have two of the areas that you need to go to. This is the first one, and you're going to the other one after you defeat the enemies in this area. My point here is the terminal has two skills. Okay, two skills that you can only cast once. Not two skills, sorry. It has a lot of skills, but you can only cast any two. Okay, so two skills. If you have 5, you can always again cast 2. So make sure that those 2 count and those 2 are timely cast. Because again, if you make a mistake of casting, let's say for example, let's do something here. Okay, so as your terminal is actually charging, I'm gonna have an example here. I'm gonna be casting a first skill, which is the support dispatch. The support dispatch is actually a drone squad that is going to be on the field with you. So if you have 2 areas that you need to defend with your terminal, if you cast your support here, they won't really go with you to the other area. So make sure that it's going to be, of value to you why you are casting them here. Again, make sure that you have you have chosen the best skill to cast while you're there, and probably on a timely basis. Also, my point here is, if you are relying too much on autoplay, again, as you can see, no drones here. So make sure that you time your terminal cast. And also for the other skills, these have a limited duration, especially for the Echomancer boost. It has a limited time. So make sure, let's say for example, we cast this. This is only for 30 seconds. So again, timely casting of your terminal skills is key. And going back to my other thought, this is actually number 5 already. Don't rely so much on autoplay, because number 1, there are some skills that you need to cast manually because some of the timing of the AI is not really great for your play, or you need to reposition some of your characters, or you need to transfer somebody off field or on field. So these are your backups. You can transfer them on field and transfer some of them off field. So those are the things that you should consider in playing auto. Again, auto is not going to be applicable, especially all auto is not going to be applicable in the later stages, because the later stages are going to be harder. It requires your intervention and more or less your attention. Okay guys, so we're talking about engraving rating next. Let us just go through some basics here on engraving rating before we go to the specifics of the rating. So as you can see, all of your characters have a class, and the class is represented by these shapes here. So these shapes here are grouped in according to what they do. So melee is usually grouped as a square. So you have your bulwark, you have your vanguard, and your striker in a square shape. So take note, because we're gonna be using that later when we talk about our next item here. And triangle is going to be your skirmisher and your ranger. So you have rangers here and skirmishers here. And your diamond shape is going to be your support and your tactician. So those are the things that you should notice, because once we are talking about engraving, what do you call this, rating, engraving rating is going to give you a lot of experience here. So how to get a high engraving rating is to go to the Nexus. We're gonna have a separate tutorial for the Nexus, but you have to go to the Nexus to get a high rating. But for you to have the right sequence is you have to fit in this. So basically, the ones on left side, the square, you could either put there a bulwark, a vanguard, or a striker. So that is why you have there I think she is a vanguard. Okay, and in the middle, that's a triangle, a skirmisher. So all your range is going to be grouped here. So basically, what this says is for those groups, you have to have the highest engraving, then followed by your second highest on the second level. So you have to make sure that you have at least a high engraving for each of these shapes. Okay, before I was so confused about this that I didn't know how to comply with this. But again, square one, square bulwark, vanguard, and striker, highest here. This one is going to be triangle, skirmisher, ranger, highest as well. And on the third one is going to be a diamond, support, and tactician characters are going to be here. So if you have other, let's say for example, I have another bulwark who has lower than this engraving, it's going to be here, applied down here. So on and so forth. So square down here, triangle down here, and diamond down here. So basically, you're going to be accumulating engravings for all of your characters, because once you accumulate, you'll be unlocking some of these. The only reason why these are not unlocked yet, because it's locked behind a timer. So locked behind 8 hours, 1 day, and so on and so forth. So it's best to be prepared, that you make sure that your characters already have good engravings and have at least complied with the shapes here, so that you can actually unlock your growth reward. I hope that makes sense, because initially this was really confusing for me. As you unlock, you'll be seeing more rewards unlocking here as you qualify. But again, just try to make sure that you diversify all of the shapes that all of the operatives that are under one shape, that you make sure that you have enough so that they may be slotted here. So far for the square, I don't have anybody yet to to be on the second part here, because for the tactical engraving, I only have these. I don't engrave much unless I can open unless I can open a engraving here, an engraving rating. So if I can open a reward, then I would probably add more here and to your tactical engraving. So again, don't make the mistake of not doing this, because this is going to be contributing a lot of experience and a lot of rewards. So don't set this aside. Please make sure that you know how to do this. Again, comment in the comment section, because I know this is going to be a bit confusing if you are new to this. Okay, so for our next part, this part is kind of unseen if you don't know where to find it. So it's actually called the Sea Dome. So for the Sea Dome, you're gonna be doing a lot of farming here as well, collecting and upgrading of your facilities. Basic R&D for farming, basic processing. This is converting your resources to another resource. And we have a central command for unlocking. We have we're done there, processing level. But we also have a training room so that we can train our characters. So this provides your characters additional stats. This is computed based on percentage bonuses. So make sure that you have all of your characters undergo training here, because these are valuable, stats that they could add to their kits and to their abilities that is going to be valuable down the road. So as you unlock these, you will be able to add more characters for your training room. So don't forget to upgrade, do, and take a look at your seed though. And guys, the last one is I'm gonna be pointing it out up here. There are a lot of icons here apparently that you don't know what they are unless you click them. But this one apparently is going to be for a club. So it's like a guild. Basically, you have to have this, and you have daily quests here which can accumulate to your club shop. Your club shop is actually nice because it gives you additional things that you can buy, especially for your food here. You have resources here and some of the things that you might need. So do not forget to join a club, because these are small resources yet very valuable down the line. Okay, so that is it, guys. Those are the things that you need to do and to stop forgetting on doing it or stop doing it. So basically, please update how you do things in the game so that you won't be able to regret, or you won't regret things that you are still doing that are actually bad for your account. So thank you guys for staying this far. Take care, stay safe. This is the Warden, and I'm out of here.